Well, hi everybody. Welcome to the 901 show live from Memphis, Tennessee, where we have fun on the 901. All right. Okay, we're not gonna hold y'all long tonight because we know y'all can get the Prime uh Amazon Prime shopping on. Uh-huh. Well, I'm not doing my Prime shopping on Prime Day because I do my Prime shopping every day. All right. Okay. Hey Ron, thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, I'm trying to get in the regulars here. But first, let me bring in the team. All right, we got the heartbeat of the South and every beat of my heart, my son, Tim Harrington. Hey Tim, how you
Hey, Ma.
doing?
All right, how you doing?
Oh man, what can an old lady say? Glad to be here. I'm glad to see another day. That's
glad
about
you
it.
glad
Keep
you
on
here.
pushing. Like
All right.
Curtis Mayfield say, keep on
Pushing.
pushing.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah. All right.
yes.
Y'all know on Tuesday night, once a month, we have our special guest, Mood Doggy. Not to take. I got to get my brush. Move, move, go away. And she still won't move. Okay, we can't do without our Nashville correspondent, Linda PURRS from Nashville. Hi, Linda.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Linda.
Hi, everybody.
All
Glad to
right.
see you.
All right. Hey, Rob. Rob says hello, everybody. Get down now.
Look,
Go
Rob.
away. That I spoiled her. I let her hug me while I was working today, sitting
Mm.
down,
Aha.
cause she was so lonely. Now she wants to fuss at me.
I hear it.
So, so Tim, what have you
Yeah.
been up to since I last saw you, which is on Friday night show?
Yeah, not a whole lot of anything. Just ran a couple of errands here and there. That's about it. Nothing major. Thank God.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Linda? We hadn't seen you since last month.
Hmm.
Right. I've been bouncing around, but I got to tell you something. I just
Okay.
thought I think it's really neat. You get to see your son once or twice a week all the time, and
Yeah.
keep it. Maybe I'll start a little local, different type of show, and get my. I have two boys, and maybe that way I can see them every week or
Yeah.
something.
There,
Yeah.
there you
Good
go. There
idea.
you go. That's a
Yeah.
great idea. Great
It really
idea.
is.
I know, and maybe it's a good idea for all parents. Just tell them we're going to do a little podcast or something, and we need you. And
Yeah.
that way, it's a secret way to see your kids.
Yeah,
Linda.
it'll actually be archived, so it'll always be there.
Yeah, yeah, and
Hmm.
you can always look at it. I think that's a great idea you got going on. Like I have one boy who lives 40 minutes south of me. I saw him. Now, I used to live in Oregon before I moved. A matter of fact, tomorrow, 11 years ago, I moved to Nashville from Oregon.
Okay.
And I saw my son more when I lived in Oregon than living out here 40 minutes away.
Isn't that
Wow.
something?
Because I
But you,
came out 2 or 3 times a year and I'd stay like a week. And and so anyway, so I like this idea that you guys can at least touch bases, and then you're doing something, you're talking about Memphis and everything. I like that.
Well, thank you.
And did you want me to just say hello, or did you want me to tell a story right now, or are you going to come back around to me? I can't hear anybody, Rob.
I can't hear either.
okay,
Oh,
yeah, I had muted
okay.
myself because Precious is barking. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Linda, you have come up with a brilliant idea for worldwide. Let's give her a
Yeah.
round of applause.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
So,
the kid audience say yay. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah, a sneaky way to be with your kids. I love it.
Well,
No.
because they're gonna be on the phone anyway. That's where they stay now.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
they could take a moment and do a podcast with mommy or grandma.
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
At least a 10 or 15 minute podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Go,
about the
go.
attention span.
That would be a great thing to. That would be a great thing to do because everybody can push the go live button,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
their Facebook,
Yeah.
Right.
and they could and then Facebook has it now where you can request someone to join you live.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh,
that's a new
okay.
feature they've got. Yeah, you can
Okay,
send a
I haven't noticed
request.
that.
Yeah, try it out, Linda. If you go when you go live, they
Okay.
what you do is when you share, like I think it's Messenger, and they've also got an option where you can ask that person to join with you. Join
Okay.
it. Join.
I'll
It says join the video with you.
okay. I'll play with it. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Tim and I were gonna fool around with it too,
Yeah.
Okay.
because Tim, I know you didn't know about that, but yeah, I discovered that when we were doing our live broadcast from the rocking chair for Judge Joe Brown.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, because I was sharing, inviting everybody to watch
Right.
this live,
Right. Yeah.
on location, and that's when I saw that option. It says invite this person. Every name I hit on Messenger, I'm pretty sure it was Messenger.
okay.
It said
Yeah.
it would ask me if I wanted to invite that person to join me. So I don't know what the limit of the number of people that you
Well,
can
it's
have
good.
with
It's
you.
good to share this information so we know that, and I could practice with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
Well,
you.
we're gonna take a little quick break. When we come back, Tim, we're gonna start with you.
Okay.
Because we're not going to hold everybody long tonight because everybody's shopping on Prime. And let me tell you something, the internet bandwidth is so slow for me because,
Shopping.
and not only just me, the rest of the workers at work today online,
Yeah.
our computers were dragging, our internet was dragging because people are doing that Prime Day shopping today. And
Oh,
yeah, this is the big day. So I know
okay.
people that just got off work, they're blogging, clogging up the computer line. I don't want to start having any issues because, as you can see, I'm already moving slow in a delay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna take a little break. Let's see, we
Okay.
got somebody came in. Hey, Sandra. Thanks so much for joining the show. You're doing your
Hey,
prime
Sandra.
shopping.
Hi, Sandra.
And we got Marcus. Marcus, where you been? We have really been missing you.
What's up,
You're,
Marcus?
you're looking good. Great to see you. Y'all share the show for us because we're not going to stay long, okay? We got to get off of here and let these people do their prime shopping.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all stick and stay. Look, don't go away. And we'll be back in a few minutes. I ain't going to say right back, but we'll be back.
Smushy butt, mushy cushy tushy butt, skinny butt, spinny with your mini butt, roly butt, eat your mustacholi butt, bony butt, riding on a pony butt, eggy butt, drop it on dad's heady butt, naked butt, stop. Put a Huggies on that butt, cause only Huggies is the #1 fitting diaper with a curved and stretchy fit. So no matter what kind of butt you got, we got you, baby.
Love is bigger than ever. The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Dog tested, dog approved. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
All right, so we are back. Thank you guys for sticking and staying with us. Okay, so we're gonna bring everybody back in, and we're gonna start with bringing the Navy man on deck, so he can tell us what he wants to talk about tonight. All right.
Yeah. Wow, man. This story right here. I have a disgruntled parent.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, the parent got disgruntled. What happened was her son evidently was riding this particular bus. And like all buses, they have Pacific routes where they pick up and where they drop off.
All
So
right.
this child wanted to be dropped off in a different place other than the original drop off. So of
Oh
course the bus driver said, "No, we can't do that. It's against rules and regulations."
yeah.
So the son got on the phone and called his mom up. So in the midst of calling mom was there within 5 minutes. Not
Mm.
only was she there, she had a baseball bat with her.
Oh no.
Yes.
That
And
is definitely a no. Audience, what do y'all think about
yeah,
that?
yeah, so she ends up busting out some of the windows on the bus,
Oh my gosh.
and she attacked the bus driver, hitting him 3 times on his arm with the bat.
Oh
Oh
my
no.
goodness. Is this a school bus or public bus?
This is a school bus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy.
yeah,
That is definitely a no.
absolutely, absolutely. And you got to look at the message that she's sending to her children. You're sending messages to handle everything with violence, and
That's
not
why
to
we
have
so
any,
yeah.
and
That's
not to
why a
have
lot of
any.
these kids
Right.
that's why a
But
lot of these kids get it from. They learn in their home.
absolutely, and they don't know how to do conflict resolution.
Hmm.
So yeah, and she was arrested. She was charged with 2 counts of aggravated. Uh, what do you call it?
Assault.
Uh,
Assault.
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 Correct. Yeah,
Hmm.
2 counts of
Yeah.
aggravated assault. She was. They fined her for the bus windows. I think it was $1,500,
Mm.
something along that nature.
Hmm.
Um, so apparently she's still sitting in jail. They didn't say anything that she may be
Looking
gone.
stupid.
Yeah,
Sitting in jail looking stupid now.
yeah,
You
she
know.
deserves it. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand. Don't you know you're gonna be sitting in jail looking stupid? Is this you want this to be your legacy? You
mm,
know? So what she did was she made a bad example of how to
mm-hmm,
handle a situation in front of her child,
mm-hmm.
and now her child gets to see her looking stupid in jail.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that responsible parenthood?
not at all, not at all. That's very unacceptable.
Yeah, we definitely need to laugh at her because that's what we call a stupid criminal.
Yeah,
It did not take all of that. So what's so weird about it is you say she got to the bus in 5 minutes.
yeah.
Well, if she could get to the bus in 5 minutes, couldn't she take her son wherever it was that he needed to go?
I'm sure that she could. Absolutely, exactly.
Because it sounds like she was faster than the bus was gonna be anyway,
Right,
right?
right.
So yeah, again, a stupid criminal.
Yeah, she
Was,
is.
was that in Memphis?
Yes, it
Or
was. Yeah, it's
okay.
here. This happened.
And that happened in the 901. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
earlier today.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's been a lot of embarrassing things happening in 901 with crime
Yeah,
for me. It's very discouraging for us as far as our city reputation goes.
yes.
And but that topic is for Thursday night politics.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but conflict resolution.
Yeah.
That's a great topic, Tim. And what more can you tell us about conflict resolution? How should it work? And particularly with people who are eager to grab a gun instead of doing a good old fashioned fist fight like we used to,
Yeah.
and all of the arguing and cussing. Can you give us some pointers on conflict
Uh,
resolution?
Absolutely. I had to do a whole lot of conflict resolution being a deputy jailer.
All right. Yeah,
uh,
sure did.
yeah. We were taught that if they're on level 9 or level 10, to de-escalate it, meaning not you come with 10 and they're at 10.
Yeah.
You also can kind of talk down the situation, because sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with you. It could be
Mm-hmm.
something that's pertaining to something totally different in their mind.
Right.
And if you will only find that out, if you're trying to de-escalate this situation. Uh, and that's a prime example of what these children are seeing. They're my God, I've never seen anything like it. And they're getting
Yeah.
it from the parents. So yes, conflict resolution. I always try to digress the situation and try to talk the situation down. Because like I said, once you do that, you'll come to find out it has nothing to do with you the majority of the time. and something totally going on with them. You never know what people are going through. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
when you're faced with somebody that just don't want to talk it,
yeah,
you know, when they just confront you with the violence,
yes,
uh, and put you in a situation where you have to maybe hit back to
okay,
protect yourself or
yeah,
defend yourself.
right,
Those are very, very tricky, complicated, precarious situations.
yeah,
As a jailer, in your jailer experience, I know you guys had professional instruction on that, but you might can pull something from your professional experience that you could share with our people of the 901 area just on an everyday basis and from every facet of life, just walking it along every day as an ordinary person about how to control their anger.
Well, let's see. It kind of goes back to some of the basic things. Being aware of your surroundings. Sometimes you can spot trouble coming just by paying attention to
That's true.
what's going on around you.
I know that's right. I'm always looking to the left, to
Right,
the right, up, down, all
right.
around.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially like if ladies, you're coming out of somewhere and you think it's something that may be going on, you can use your keys as a weapon. Keys, ink pen, anything of that nature. Most women know certain positions to hit on men that will automatically take them down. But
Hmm.
a lot of it has to do with just paying attention about what's going on. Now, like you said,
Mm,
in some situations you can't avoid it. They call it
mm,
fight or flight. You're gonna either
yeah,
fight or you're gonna run.
yeah.
Um,
I would
that
always choose run for me. If
yeah,
I
it
if I can
depends.
get any kind of way,
Yeah,
I'm gone.
yeah. I would do the same thing because the thing about it is you live another day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's what I don't understand about people nowadays. When they show the recordings of people committing crimes,
Yes,
you got all these people running to the person committing the crime, trying to video them
yes,
instead of trying to get out of the way to save their lives.
yes.
Because you don't know when that person gonna turn around and hit you. You trying to video them.
Hmm.
It's so dumb. Why do people run to trouble now rather than run away from it?
You
Linda,
know
what
what?
do you think?
Yeah. What do you think, Len?
Well, I used to, in my younger years, I used to take karate. Actually,
Yeah.
Chuck Norris was an instructor in Torrance, California before he was famous.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, he
took some lessons from
was.
him, and he had a different style. He had a Korean style of karate. And I had moved to Central California, and I took Shotokan.
Okay.
Okay.
Shotokan, I was very attracted to. They
Mm-hmm.
really emphasized the whole person. That
Mm-hmm.
the samurai, the Japanese samurai, they were the politicians, they were the poets, they were the
Oh,
artists, they were
wow.
also the warriors.
Right.
They
Mm-hmm.
emphasized the whole thing, and their motto, I liked it. It said, "If you can avoid a fight, turn around and run."
Yeah.
That's right.
Why? I mean, yes, I mean, you might have to defend yourself somehow, but if you can get out of it,
Yeah.
get out of it. And this was the philosophy of this Japanese karate, Shotokan, and that appealed to me. And also like the full person, not just the warrior part.
Right.
Right.
But that philosophy, I think we should all embrace that just for your own safety,
Mm-hmm.
self defense.
Yeah.
If you can crawl out a window and get
Yeah.
out, get out.
By all means. Yeah.
So that's so I agree with that. Like we can de-escalate just by avoiding that conflict and
Right.
holding our tongue.
Yeah.
And there's a lot with that, holding your tongue, because that can really escalate people.
Oh
Just
yeah.
certain words, that's all
Yeah.
you need to get things going.
Right.
Yeah. Holding the tongue is really hard to do because I used to almost lose it when somebody cursed at me.
Mm.
But that was when I was younger. And thank goodness age has ripened me,
Yeah.
whereas now I understand that people that use vulgar language all the time, they use it because that's pretty much the only vocabulary they know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have a vocabulary.
Right.
And so it's really, when they get angry with you, they will call you all these names, and sometimes they don't really mean it because they don't even know what the names mean. It's just that that is the only vocabulary that they know,
Right. Yeah. And been around. Yeah.
and yeah, and been around and grew up in their environment. And but when people, like I say, as you grow older, you should grow wiser.
Right.
And of course, if you don't, then that's a fool, and fools don't learn very well.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Ernestine says, I saw a comment. Ernestine said, yes, nowadays it's dangerous just to walk away. She said, this guy in Michigan shot and killed a 17-year-old because he asked to use his girlfriend's lighter.
Oh
Isn't that
Lord.
pitiful?
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then she also says nowadays, um, I'm trying to get that post up there. She said, "Yes, nowadays it's dangerous. I just walk away." That's right.
Yeah.
And that now the guy that shot and killed a 17-year-old just because he asked his girlfriend to use her lighter, was it what was that? What state of mind can you imagine that he was in? Why would he feel that he had to do that?
Well,
You
yeah, you
know,
know what? You know what? And a lot of things that are going on, um, they have deep involvement sometimes in drugs, weapons, uh, just a catastrophe just waiting to happen. That's all it is an explosion. You put drugs and whatnot with firearms, and there you have it. But I think a lot of it has to do with that, and it also has to do with a lot of the vulgar music that they listen to
yeah, yeah.
every day. If you're listening to that over and over and over, that's a form
It,
of brainwashing.
it is brainwashing. And that was the thing about rap music that everybody had qualms against. Well, people, civil people, um, who take pride in civility,
Right.
had very a numerous amount of qualms against rap and hip hop when that music first started. And the dream was that, well, maybe it's just a trend,
Yeah.
and hopefully in a few years it would go away. Well, guess what, y'all? This week, yeah, it's gonna we're gonna deserve a laugh on this one. So let's see if we can get the last studio ready.
Mm.
So guess what, y'all? This week marks the 50th year
Yeah.
anniversary of hip hop.
That's
50
correct.
years
Wow.
been
50
listening
years.
to this.
That's correct.
Can you imagine 50 years? Oh my goodness. And
Wow.
for me, it doesn't even seem that long. So yeah, for me, it doesn't even seem that long. 50 years. So I mean, I'm 73, so you're trying to tell me? And I
Yeah.
guess it's a fact because
Yeah,
time
it's a
doesn't
fact.
lie.
It's a fact. But it's also been through a whole lot of changes. With those 50 years, because the way that rap started as an an art form uh, of,
Expression.
of expression. Correct, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but you can tell how it has. I can tell because my generation, um, we had some meaning in the rap and hip hop.
Hmm.
Um, Young ladies weren't called out of their name like they are now.
Right.
Sex,
And it wasn't talking about sex either.
right? It's either sex, drugs, or killing somebody nowadays, and
Yeah.
that's what they listen to, and that's
Hi,
that's
Mary.
that's
Hope you're
unhealthy.
feeling better.
All right,
And
Mary.
um, and Marcus says, "Amen." To what you were talking about, we were talking about people
Yeah,
trying to just walk away,
right.
and just not. Marcus agrees with that. He says yes. Because it's just not worth it if you want to live.
Yeah.
And most of the people that start this commotion, always starting this commotion, it seems like they don't care about life. They have no respect for life,
They
not
don't.
even their own.
No.
Because sometimes the hunter, the game becomes the hunter.
Yeah.
So, there was a song out about that a long time ago, and it says, anytime the hunter gets captured by the game. Remember
Mhm.
that, Linda? Yeah, so sometimes the roles can reverse. You can get shot with your own gun,
Yeah.
kill
Yeah.
with your own gun.
Right.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back,
Okay.
we're going to hear from Linda and see what's been going on in Nashville,
All right.
Tennessee. All right.
Hey.
All right, let's see if we can get to the break studio. Okay, you guys hold on tight. We're getting there. My computer's already slowing down.
Smushy butt, mushy cushy tushy butt, skinny butt, spinny with your mini butt, roly butt, eat your mustacholi butt, bony butt, riding on a pony butt, eggy butt, drop it on dad's heady butt, naked butt, stop. Put a Huggies on that butt, cause only Huggies is the #1 fitting diaper with a curved and stretchy fit. So no matter what kind of butt you got, we got you, baby.
All right, so we are back, and don't forget, you can get all of our partner deals at our one link, and that's wlo.link/at Emily Pearls. And I do have to do some updates. I got to get the specials on for two companies that I have not gotten on there yet. But Omaha Steaks is running a $29.95 special this week. I guess it's in conjunction with Prime Week, but I don't know for sure. But I know there's $29.95 bundles, and they've got free shipping as always. And our other sponsors that you see are sponsors that either support our shows or their companies are currently running their commercial on my movie on Roku. All right. Thank you so much. We're bringing in the rest of the team. Tim and I you and I have done our 15 minutes.
Yes.
So now it's time for Linda said, give us a Nashville in 15.
All
Oh, no,
right.
I think I want to go check out those $29 Omaha steak bundles. That
I
Yeah, I
sounds
know,
know,
good.
right?
right?
That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
good. You can't get anything for $29 anymore.
I know, right?
I hope it's more than one hamburger patty.
and free shipping.
I
Hmm.
know, free shipping. I got to go check that out. So,
Yeah.
Please
but
do.
anyway, so I've been gone a couple weeks. I fly free on Southwest Airlines.
Yes, I
So
know.
I haven't really gone.
Embedded.
I did a
And
quick little trip down to Florida in December and in January, but I really haven't gone anywhere since the pandemic. And I finally went somewhere. I went to Massachusetts,
okay.
and I went to Cape Cod. Now
Okay.
Wow.
I'm familiar with Boston because I lived in New Hampshire for 8 years at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway
Okay.
Oh, okay.
for 8 years. So I have been to Boston numerous times. But when you go east of Boston, if you look at the map of Massachusetts, there's a hook out in the ocean. And that whole hook is called Cape Cod. Now I've heard of Cape Cod. Have you guys heard of Cape Cod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard of it, but I thought it was a city or something. But that's what they call the whole hook. And then they have the upper cape and the outer cape, and mid cape. And I went to the very point out in the ocean, and there's a town there called Provincetown.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tie in this. I went to a Portuguese festival. I'm going to tie this in to Memphis.
Okay.
You would be like, how does a Portuguese festival get tied in to the city of Memphis?
Okay.
Well, how I ended up out there, a girl who sings with me, I met her here in Nashville at the Bluebird Cafe. Her name is Carol LeDuc. She was in charge of the entertainment, and I have experience organizing motorsport races and
Okay.
running a racetrack. And I told her, I'll come up and help you. And she goes, oh, no, I can't show you around. I'm going to be so busy. I won't be able to give you a good tour. I go, I'm not coming for a tour. I'm coming up to help you out. So when she realized that, we had a great weekend. But while I was with her, she was telling me about the Portuguese people. And so I have two parts here. So here's the first part. So the Portuguese people were fishermen in this area, and that's what they did. And they just lived on fish and they said they never knew that was a luxury item. They had lobster, oysters every day,
Mm.
growing up. And my girlfriend's boat was called Jimmy Boy, and it was named
Yeah.
after an older brother who passed away real young. And all of they do a blessing of the fleet. Everybody walks with the name of their boats, past
Oh,
or present, and they're trying to keep the
wow.
Portuguese heritage alive
Okay.
Yeah.
because they have a writers group that gets together and they tell stories. And one of the events was the storytelling of the Portuguese. Well, how they started there, a group of people came from the Azore Islands. That's off of Portugal. And they came there and they got run out of town by the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm.
Out
Uh-oh.
there on the Cape and the little point in Massachusetts, they had the Ku Klux Klan. And they put burning crosses in their homes and ran them out of town.
Oh my.
Well, the fishermen went back to the Azores because they have boats, and they brought back 3 times as many people, and they ran the Ku Klux Klan out.
Okay.
Yay!
So isn't that like the weirdest thing? I mean, you always think of the Ku Klux Klan in the South, but
Right.
it was in the tip of Massachusetts in Provincetown. And Provincetown is the first place, November 20th, 1620. That's where the Pilgrims first landed. Then they went on to Plymouth. But when they
Mm.
first landed, they were right there at Provincetown, and they have a big monument up on a hill commemorating that landing.
Okay.
So it's an interesting town. So what's happening in Nashville. I don't know if it's happening in Memphis, but the local people, so corporations and rich people are moving in, building condos and hotels, and the local people cannot afford to live in
Right.
Provincetown anymore.
That's
Oh.
right.
So they have this writers group that's trying to really get the stories of the Portuguese heritage for since the
Mm-hmm.
1800s
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm-hmm.
in Provincetown, because they're scared it's just going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And very interesting stories about these people.
Yeah.
So now, and that's what's happening in Nashville. You can't just go get an apartment for $800 a month down in Nashville anymore.
That's
Mm.
ridiculous.
It's more like 3,000 or more just for
Well,
an
they are. Yeah,
apartment, let
they
alone a
already
house.
did that. Yeah, they already did that to downtown Memphis
Yeah.
when they put that trolley through years ago.
Yeah.
And made all they turned out those old company buildings that used to be where we go downtown and take care of business in these buildings. You
Yeah.
know, they turned all of those into apartment
They
complexes,
did. Uh
uh,
huh.
But
condominiums,
you
and
would
stuff.
think with a lot of housing, it would be affordable, but no, it's real
No,
expensive. So
don't
these
know.
people, these Portuguese people, have been moved. They can't afford it, so
They've been
they're
displaced.
yeah they're and so their whole history is like kind of going away. And then these people coming in and kind of turning it into a destination beach area, but
Mm.
it's no longer the little fishing village. They try to keep
Right.
Right.
this festival, and they have the folklore dancing and stuff. Well, this is
Hmm.
what I learned from my girlfriend this weekend. I don't know if you've heard of this word. This is the first time I've heard of it. Malusian. Have you heard of Malusians?
No.
No.
Malusian. Okay. That's a new word for me. So it's like me and then lung,
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
Munglian. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maluge, that's like a luge. Okay.
Right. It sounds
So
French.
yeah, it does. It does sound different. But
Hmm.
what's happened is there's a group of people. Now there's a few different theories on this, and they're testing it out with the DNA now. You know how you can get DNA and
Yeah.
find out
Right.
really who your ancestors are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So there's a group of people that Portuguese people who went down to Appalachia. They settled in Virginia, but they came into Tennessee through the Cumberland Valley, the
Mm-hmm.
Right.
middle Tennessee, and up
Hmm.
through there.
Hmm.
So they're the a lot of people think they're the Portuguese people that intermarried with the Cherokee Indians.
Right.
And
Hmm.
Elvis's mother is a direct descendant from a Cherokee Indian lady,
Yeah.
a great grandmother,
Hmm.
her mother's great grandmother. And but they never knew about these people. These people were different. They weren't African. They
Hmm.
weren't Spanish.
Hmm.
They weren't European.
They weren't Indian.
And yeah, they were not Indians, and nobody knew who this group was. So they've been
Hmm.
given a name, Malusian, and you can look it up. Like
Okay.
Google it to get some more information. Well, that's where they think the some of the Portuguese people that came in and married Cherokees and stuff. They're saying that's Elvis is Malusian,
Oh,
Oh.
really?
and that's how
Oh,
he has his good looks. If you look at young Portuguese men, they have the look of Elvis, that
yeah.
good looking look. Now,
Uh-huh.
the other theory that has been happening that they're finding out that these people, there was a group of Irish women who married a bunch of, it's the sub-Saharan Africans, a certain type of Africans.
The
And
Irish, you say Irish
yeah,
women,
Irish women
hmm
married these good-looking black
African.
men from the
Well,
Sahara,
yeah, yeah. Um,
and and they're saying they were the Malaysians. Well, and what was happening, they think what happened is, so they kind of like, you know how back in the old days you want to pass for white or whatever, you know, they're saying they were like trying to pass for Portuguese. So
Mm.
nobody knew what they were. So they
Hmm.
would just say, we're Portuguese. or,
Well,
or
they
like that
probably couldn't.
Saturday, long time
Well,
ago,
they
Saturday Night Live. We're from France, you know.
yeah,
Mm.
they probably couldn't spell that. But
No.
the reason why that they had to pick something they could spell, I say the same thing about Caucasians. I say that, you know, when they came over here from Britain, they were the English, and then they didn't want to be English anymore. But they were English until they started the coffee and the cotton, you know, trading. And then when they had to do that international trade, they had to identify themselves. And because other parts of the world were calling them Caucasian, if they didn't want to be English, they didn't call them white, they called them Caucasian. So then when they began to take censuses, they didn't, many of them, people couldn't, they couldn't, many of those settlers that came over here that became plantation owners couldn't really even read and write a lot that well themselves, so they couldn't spell Caucasian. And so since the
I
Africans
can't
were,
spell Caucasian.
yeah, since the Africans were black, they figured that, well, we're lighter than them, so we're white, and this white was easy to spell rather than Caucasian.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, nobody else in the world is going to call a Caucasian white, but American, United
Huh.
States of America.
Yeah. So they're studying this out now, and what was interesting, I got to show you a picture. She had my friend Carol, and I got to know this guy. His name is I don't know if you can see it.
I
His name
said,
is
yeah,
Rick
he,
Anthony.
he looks a lot like
He's a
us.
Portuguese
Yeah,
Elvis singer,
Okay.
and
yeah.
he just looks like that. Like some people have to try to look like Elvis.
He just
Hmm.
looked
He
like
just looks,
that.
and this is how like Portuguese the men look. So
Yeah.
Elvis could have some Portuguese in him, or it's just
Uh-huh.
Malaysian is what they're calling it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you some of the other people that are Malaysian. George Clooney, the actor,
Oh, really?
he's
Yeah.
he's Malaysian. From about the 40s, 50s, actress Ava Gardner is
Yeah.
an actress. She's Malaysian.
Uh-huh.
Abraham Lincoln is Malaysian.
Mm.
Yeah, I believe that about him. You can
And
see it in him really
yeah,
good.
because this group came up, like I said, into Tennessee, but they,
Hmm.
up the Cumberland Valley.
So how
Yeah.
many do they have in Nashville right now?
How many Malaysians?
Uh-huh.
I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just studying it out
But
myself,
they
reading
but they
about it.
still okay, but they are still there. Do you know
Yeah.
that?
Well, I got to tell you another one. The comedian Steve Martin is
I remember
Malaysian.
Steve Martin, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Uh-huh.
and Tom Hanks is Malaysian.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then you
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about Nashville, even though he's from Kentucky, the man who started bluegrass music in the late 40s was Bill Monroe, and he's
Uh-huh.
Malaysian. So you
Oh.
got from Abraham Lincoln to Bill Monroe to Elvis,
Uh-huh.
and it's just a whole group of people that they never classified right, just like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not Spanish, they're not African. What are they?
Right.
Yeah.
So
So they just
with the DNA tests, they're really studying this out. So it's something people might want to just look up on Google and find out, because it's an
Malaysian.
ongoing thing, a study
Yeah.
that's going on. But they're saying Elvis is Malaysian, and they think he's more the Portuguese
Mm-hmm.
Malaysian mix. But then the other mix, and then the other thing from the British Broadcasting, they said that they think some of them were Ottoman Turks that came over here before the Europeans that
Mm.
Oh
mingled with
yeah.
the Cherokee. Indians.
Oh,
So there's this
okay.
lost group that they just don't know, because they're not Spanish, they're not,
I believe that. Hmm.
so it's
Yeah.
but they have said Elvis is Malusian through the
Mm,
Cherokee side of his family. So I
okay.
just thought that. So here I go to the outerest point of the East Coast,
Yeah.
and
And
on a
find
little
something.
point in the Cape, and I learn about Malusians and that Elvis is a Malusian. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
bring
That
that information back.
Yeah, that's good
that
information
was
right
good
there.
information. And
Yeah.
yes, and let me say this when we get right back on in the comments on what you just presented to us. Thank you, Terry. Hi, Terry. Thanks for joining us. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yes, Sybil is fine, y'all. She is on vacation in her hometown of Alabama visiting her family. Okay. She'll be gone for 2 weeks, so she will be back on the 24th, I believe.
All
And
right.
Ernestine says, very interesting, Linda Purrs.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I find it fascinating, and just something we can all kind of follow, because they're really getting a lot more information with the DNA tests
Right.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do DNA test from Tim and I. And, a lot of people stopped doing it
Yeah.
because they said, yeah, because the government can use that to connect you
Yes.
to anything that they want to put you on. But they, most of the time, they haven't anyway. So, because I work for the federal government. So, and I started working for the federal government in 1971. So they got my fingerprints from 1971. Because if they would try to get my fingerprints now, they wouldn't be able to get it because my fingers are all flat from age. I
Mm,
hardly got any print left.
mm,
So I don't know still if they would be able to say that's me compared to my fingerprints now because there are hardly any lines, just flat skin now, right?
yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. So I wonder what do they do in cases like that. But back to you, Linda. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And because a lot, most of us don't know our heritage. Let's just face it. Most of
Right.
us don't know our heritage because it was hidden from us. It was secret, and that's the reason why I can understand the point of view about the KKK, where they want to keep the bloodline pure. Well, that comes from kings and queens, from kingdoms. I understand that part because what happens is when you mix the kings and the queens would almost always lose their children.
Yeah.
And they tried to say that it was from the living conditions, that it was way, that it was cold or this or that. But the kings and queens lived better than anybody in the kingdom.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the reason they were losing their babies. The reason they were
Everything.
losing their babies is because they were at it. That's what you call incest. When
Yeah.
you have a marriage with your brother or your
Yeah.
sister, just trying to keep the bloodline royal.
Yeah.
But what you have created is a Mongol child. You created a Down syndrome child.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times
Alabama
when
too.
albinos, right? So a lot of times when children, when parents have uh, children who have Down syndrome, what has happened, and they don't know because they didn't know who their heritage was, they didn't
Yeah.
know who their relative was, is that somewhere down in that genetic line,
Yeah.
the person that you made it with is related to their own kin, or
Yeah.
you are related to your own kin. But
That makes sense.
usually it's the male.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's so a lot of these things, and so that's why I say I can understand their point of view about making sure that I mean, of trying to want to keep the bloodline pure to
Um, I
avoid.
I have a question for you. It's like a politically correct question.
Sure,
I don't know the answer,
I
but
might
in the
not either.
well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've just never heard a term. so these were mixed. Like they really think it was the um, Sahara Africans with the Irish
Yeah,
women that were the Melungeons,
I can
Hmm.
but
believe it.
and then a little Portuguese turned in, But now years ago, now this is when I grew up, a
Hmm.
little girl. They used to call if you were mixed race mulatto.
I remember mulatto.
Yeah,
Mulatto means that you have one of your parents is Caucasian and the
yeah.
other one
Now,
is African
but I
American.
don't hear that ever anymore, and I didn't know if that's not a politically correct term or is there another term
No, they
for
don't
that?
use it anymore.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
dropped it. They dropped it after the civil rights movement was passed.
Yeah, I haven't heard it at all in my generation.
Yeah, they
Yeah. Well,
dropped it.
that I,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you were saying about the Melungeon mixing with the African American white. Well, the Africans because they weren't African Americans, but the Melungeon, the Irish mixing with the African that would produce a mulatto,
yeah.
a
And
southern
so
plant.
I just haven't heard that term anymore. And do they maybe just say mixed race nowadays?
Yeah, they do say mixed
Yeah,
race.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do.
Okay.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
a southern plantation owner master mating with one of the slaves, Africa, produced mulatto children, and that's why you have the light-skinned African Americans because somebody in their bloodline down from generations back was Caucasian
Right.
or British or English or Irish or even Swede. It just depends. But yeah, that's where the mulatto race comes from, a mixture of Africans with a lighter colored
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering
race.
because I never hear, and like you said, Timothy, you've never heard that term.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing it out of my
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he wasn't born when they
Right.
dropped it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
remember. I remember going to the drive-in. We just sneak and go to the drive-in and watch these what we can now call R-rated movies. They used to call it X-rated back in their days. And there was this movie at the drive-in that was called Mulatto,
Oh,
and it showed how this slave and this the master's wife, plantation owner's master's wife, and the slave had an affair. Sandra said, "Yep, she remember it." So Sandra, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, and that movie, and it actually showed them in romantic, positions that we won't expose, but and then yeah, but he was called mulatto. He was a mulatto because he was the result of a a combination of parentage being Caucasian
Yeah.
and African, and that's why the Caucasian woman, the ma'am of the house, the wife of the plantation owner, was more attracted to him than any of the other African men. Is because he was a lighter color, and that's, I mean, I could go on and on because I love history. I've studied history. I've studied philosophy. I've studied seriously,
Yeah.
because that's where you learn where all this stuff began and
Right.
how it began.
Right.
But yes, so let me stop talking because we got to get out of here. Last comments, Linda, since you were the last presenter.
well, I just always glad to be on this show, and thank you. And I hope Sybil's having a good time with her family, and
Yeah,
I'm still planning in the middle of August to come down to Memphis, and I hope to meet you guys.
yeah, we're gonna do our Elvis thing. We always go, even if we can't do the candlelight, but depending on how the weather is. We'll all just meet up at Marlowe's and have us a great fellowship meal together. How about
Yeah,
that?
I'll when it gets closer. I'll figure out your plans and
All
meet up
right.
Yeah,
with you.
we'll talk about it. All
Okay.
right, Tim, your closing comments.
Wow, great show. A lot of information. I learned some things tonight.
Yeah, we all did.
I know,
That's one
right?
thing about our shows. People may not like talk shows, but this is one that you will love.
Right.
Because regardless as to whether it's Tuesday night, not fun on 901, Pearls Politics Thursday night on the latest
Yeah.
updates of what's going on in the world today,
Yeah.
or the Emily Pearls show where we talk about entertainment and have our family game night. In every show, if you watch it, you will find that there is at least one thing you will take away
Oh
from
yeah.
our shows that you did not know. You will learn something new every time you
Yeah.
watch our shows.
Right. Right.
And so, Linda, I want to say great job as always. We always miss you. And she's a member of our team, y'all. Let's give her a round of applause. But she's just so busy, she can only find time to come and visit us once a month. But see, I know it's going to slack up when it starts turning cold, right, Linda? So
Yeah.
you might not be getting out as much. So I want you to feel free to come on many more Tuesday nights and not just one, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, Tim, as always, the heartbeat of the South, not every heartbeat. You always got something to bring to the table. We're so happy to have a male point of view
Glad to be here.
in the house in living color. All
All right.
right.
Yes.
So I want to thank all of our friends, all of our top fans. And listen, don't forget to hit those like buttons down there like I'm hitting on my phone right
Yes.
now,
Mm-hmm.
because you need to hit those because this will earn you some badges from our shows. And that's the way Facebook does that now. So and when you tune in, make sure to hit those like buttons, on your phone, right by the where you put your comment, those like buttons. I'm talking about that one. Yeah, when we're live. All right.
All
That's
right.
our time. I see Twitter is gone, and so we're getting ready to get out of here. Twitter fans, I had to set to go off at 8 o'clock. So we will see you guys, and that's our time. We
All right.
are
Bye
love.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for watching,
All right.
and we will see you all later. I'm trying to get thanks for watching.